And welcome everyone to the PCS Like a Pro show. I'm your host, Megan Harless, as always. And today we're just going to take some time and we're going to talk through the PCS process and what it is. I'm taking a moment and sharing this to a couple of groups and folks. So if you've got somebody that is moving this summer or moving later this year, maybe you're a first time mover, maybe it's been a while since you moved and you just need a little update as to what is going on, what you need to know, this will be the show for you. Because like I said, we're just going to talk through what the process is and what you need to know. So we're going to start right off from the beginning that you need your orders. Nothing can really happen without your orders. And we're talking your official orders, or what's often referred to as your hard orders. So these orders, they come with a funding line. They allow you to start the process of scheduling your move, of doing all your appointments, of booking your flights, all of that kind of thing. A lot of times we hear the term soft orders or verbal notification. Sometimes it's a written notification. While these are great and they give you the idea of where you're going to, you can start researching your location. You really can't do much else without having your official orders. So the official orders kind of start everything. As we go through this today, I just want to remind you, if you guys got questions, please drop them in the comments. Happy to answer everything we can, or we'll go dig up the answer and come back to you with them as well. So everything starts with your orders, right? So once you get your orders, the next thing that you should do is immediately get on to DPS. DPS is the website where you go and you set up your move. And I'll drop the comment or the link for DPS in the comments, so you will have that easily accessible. But DPS is where you set up your shipment. It's where you manage your shipment. It's where, if you need to file a claim at the end of your movement of everything, it's where you would go to file a claim if needed. So you need to get on DPS and you need to set your move up as soon as possible. The reason you do this is because shipments are booked in the order of which they are received. So if you are waiting until you received your hard orders and now you're waiting a month, 2 months until it's closer to when you want to leave, you may or may not get your requested dates, especially if you're planning to move in the summer season. So as soon as you get your orders, get on DPS, get them set up. Important thing to note is that if you are moving May 15th or later, you will probably not get the email with having a TSP assigned until sometime in April. We're looking at probably mid to late April. So every year, the moving industry goes through what's called rate filing, where they file new rates with Transcom. Transcom has to approve them or deny them. And then once that's all done, rates are then entered into DPS, and then they start booking the summer moves. The rates are good every year from May 15th until May 14th of the following year, because May 15th starts peak season. So right now, the industry is going through rate filing with Transcom, which means that summer shipments are not being booked because the rates are not in the system. So if you are falling into that category, if you are hearing from your local transportation office like, hey, they're telling me they can't book our shipment yet, that is why. It's because they're going through the rate filing process right now. Just be patient. As soon as they're able to, they'll start booking the shipments that are already set up, which is why you want yours set up and in line, because they book in the order that they're received. So there's that piece. It's also important to note that there is that 7-day window pickup when you go to set up your move, is that you're going to put in your requested date of when you want your stuff picked up. And that is going to be determine your 7-day window of when your company is able to pick up. So you need to be prepared for maybe not that date, maybe the date before. Build some wiggle room into your schedule. That'll go a long way in case there's a hiccup, something happens. Life happens. We know this all too well, that Murphy likes to come and visit. And so sometimes when it comes time to move, when it's scheduled to have a 5-person crew to pack our home, people get sick, cars break down, other family emergencies happen. And so that 5-person crew could easily turn into like a 2 or 3-person crew. So it's going to take a little longer. They may need an extra day. So build a little bit of wiggle room into your schedule for things. After all of that, you'll get your emails for having your TSP assigned, your transportation service provider. This is the company that is in charge of managing your shipment from start to finish. You should have a move coordinator from your TSP that is assigned to you and your shipment. And this person should be contacting you within 3 days after your shipment is booked. They're going to verify your dates, they're going to verify your location, your address, where you're at, where you need stuff picked up at. If you have an address already, they're going to verify the delivery address or at least the location where your stuff is going to. So if you don't have an address yet, they're going to verify that your stuff is supposed to go to Shaw Air Force Base and not Fort Hood. So they're going to go through all that. They're going to let you know what can and cannot be packed. They're going to give you some other helpful information of what to know and what to expect. And that's all going to come through that move coordinator from your transportation service provider. You also have in that email some other companies are going to be listed, and it's going to get a little confusing. If you haven't moved in a while, if this is your first time move, it's going to be like, why does it feel like there's 7 million companies involved in our shipment? It's because there usually is. So you're going to have what's listed as a local origin agent. That is a local company that is going to come pack your stuff. They also may be the company that loads your stuff. They could also be the company that hauls your stuff to your next location. You may have a different company listed as your hauler, and that's going to be the truck that shows up that your stuff gets loaded into. You'll also have listed in there a destination agent, and that is the local moving company at your gaining location, and they're going to be the company that is supposed to come deliver your stuff. Again, they could also be the hauler. They could be the place that stores your stuff if storage is needed, and they're going to be the delivery company as well. At any point during that process, you have issues with your crews, with your driver, with whoever, your move coordinator from the TSP is who you can reach out to for those issues. So make sure you get their name, get a good number, get a good email when they reach out to you. And if you have any questions or issues, you reach out to them. You can also reach out to your local transportation office if you can't get a hold of your move coordinator or you're waiting for a call back for anything. They should be able to send a QA, quality assurance inspector, out to your home to help identify what issues are happening and to help navigate through any questions and issues, concerns that you may have as well. On your packing days, you're going to have a crew that shows up with a million boxes and stacks of paper, and they're going to come pack your home. Now, the rules are you can't prohibit them from doing their job, but I always like to say have a game plan for how you want your home packed. And in my experience, they've always been happy to kind of follow that. So for us, when they arrive and we do introductions, we walk them through the home so they can get an idea of what everything is that needs to be shipped. But for me, I always need my kids' rooms packed first because they like to add stuff to the car pile. And as we know, cars can only fit so much. So I always ask them, can you start in my children's rooms to get their rooms packed up? Then we go from the bedrooms, we do the dining room, living room, office area. I always request my kitchen is packed to last because I like cooking up until the very end. If for some reason we've had times where we had very efficient crews and they've packed very well and very quickly and they need to start packing the kitchen. Yes, I let them to come in and I let them start packing the kitchen. I direct them, can you pack the mugs first? Because I may be done using the mugs. Or here's the cookware and bakeware that can start getting packed, or the Tupperware. And I leave out the few things that I need to pack, use to cook dinner that night. And then I get them all nice and cleaned. And they finish packing those the next day. So have a plan with how you want your home to be packed. And it helps you have an idea of what's happening, where people are at in your home when they say, hey, we're done with the children's rooms. You can go in and you can double check and verify. We got Sandra joining us, and I see you in the comments, Sandra, with your comment about, it's funny and wise about packing your kids' rooms first. For us, it makes a huge difference because the last stuff that they start adding to the car pile, because I've already got everything that we're going to need stacked there. All the other stuff that I let them bring to get us through whatever time we have. But my car can only fit so many stuffed animals from my daughter and so many dolls and so many Lego sets and so many books and so many board games. And it comes to a point where it's just like, we no more can join here. So that's how kind of your pack days will go. As I said, once they say, hey, we're done with this room, go double check, Look in closets, look in drawers, in cabinets, look under the bed. If you have children, you'll be surprised what you find under the bed. But just take a look to make sure that everything did get packed. Sometimes things get missed. They thought they got all of the cabinets in the bathroom, and then they got caught up with stuff. Somebody came and asked a question, or they went to go help somebody, or whatever it was, and a cabinet might have gotten missed. So just take the time to verify that everything actually is packed. Your load days, oh, also with packing, you're going to have multiple inventories in there as well. We love paperwork, it doesn't end. So you're going to have multiple inventories. So the first one's going to be your high value inventory. So the general rule of thumb, $100 per pound, anything that's irreplaceable, hard to replace, vintage, antique collections, your china, crystal items, those types of things can generally go on your high value inventory. Some companies just hand you the form and say, hey, fill this out. Other companies want to talk about what it is that you're putting on your high value inventory so they're aware of what it is. Game systems, electronics can go on your high value inventory. The high value inventory gives you the ability to list something specifically on the inventory so it doesn't just get shoved into a box and, oh no, where did it go? So for us, it's our gaming systems. We have a sports memorabilia collection. It's my Polish pottery, fine china, and crystal collection that I have going on. Our vintage antique furniture that we have goes on there. So you'll have your high value inventory for that stuff. Then you have your household goods inventory, and you're going to have two of these. So the first one is going to be usually starts getting created near the end of the packing process, and there'll usually be one crew member who goes room to room very methodically and starts doing an inventory for the boxes. Now, as they pack boxes, they should be writing on the box a general description of the items. They're not going to write every single thing on the box because the inventory space is very, very limited. So they can't list everything, but it shouldn't say like closet items. It should say hats, boots, winter clothing. It shouldn't just say kitchenware. It should say, Tupperware, glasses, silverware, a little more descriptive type of items so you know what's in the box, but it's not going to list absolutely everything. Now, when they go to pack our silverware drawer, we've got silverware in there. I've got the little plastic medicine cups in there. We've got some reusable and disposable straws in there. I don't expect them to list everything that's in that drawer, but if they can at least write silverware, flatware on the box with, writing dishes and glasses, it gives you an idea of what's in that box and whatever else was around there that is probably also packed in that box as well. So you'll have that inventory for your boxed items. On load day, your driver is going to come in and is going to make another inventory of your furniture. And with the furniture, they're also going to put on there what we call damage assessment codes. Is to help identify pre-existing damage. So if you've got a table that's got a crack in it or a really big scratch in it, they're probably going to note that on the inventory because it's not damage that they did. It was pre-existing damage. So at the end of the day, once everything is done and that inventory is made, you need to go through, take your time, ensure those items are listed in their current condition on there. You do have the right, for some reason, you say, hey, I don't think like that's, like you're saying, it's really scratched up. And yes, there's maybe 2 or 3 scratches on it, but it's not the scratches that you say are on there. You do have the right to put on there that you don't agree with it before you sign it. But make sure it's listed there. Make sure other things are listed on there as well, because the inventory is kind of like a binding document and your signature is agreeing to it being accurate. So if for some reason they wrote couch on there, but you want it listed as Pottery Barn couch, make sure you write on there Pottery Barn. If you have 3 TVs, but you only see 2 listed on the inventory because maybe they packed the 2 small ones together in one box, double check and make sure that third TV gets listed on there in case something were to happen. It's your time at the end of the day to ensure your inventories are accurate to the best of your knowledge and ability to have it. So in the event, if there is a claim, you're a little more protected because you took the time to ensure your inventories were correct. Your loading crews should also disassemble any furniture that needs to be disassembled to fit on the moving truck. The parts box is, some people are for it, some people are against it. Some people like to put the parts in the bags and tape things directly to the item. I'm not a fan of that method. We've had times where we've made the parts box and then I've carried the parts box myself. I've secured it and put it into my car so I have it. I've done other times where I had labeled Ziploc bags, parts went into the labeled Ziploc bags, and then I put it all into a giant Ziploc bag. Um, and then packed that in my suitcase and took it with me. So there's many ways you can skin that cat on how to do parts, but make sure the parts are in baggies, are labeled. We got Chris in the comments that a parts box is a must. Um, you need to make sure those parts are consolidated in some forms, because then whatever's disassembled on delivery day, those items will be reassembled. Now, if you've got something that's new in box, they're not going to assemble that for you. That will still be on you to assemble it because they didn't take it apart. If you took the item apart, say you wanted to take your beds apart and have that stuff all done, they're not going to reassemble it because they did not disassemble it. So just keep that in mind. Whatever they disassemble, they should reassemble. If you did it, they are not required to. Um, so everything will get loaded. Again, once they say like everything is loaded or out of this room, go double check. There's been times you'd be surprised where, people thought stuff was out of the house, was out of that room, but there was one small box that was, tucked in a corner of a closet and it just got, missed with all the hustle and bustle of the day. Take the time, just go verify. There's been times brooms got left in closets, other things, just because, again, the hustle and bustle. So take the time to walk through your home when they say, hey, everything is loaded, before letting them leave, just to verify. Otherwise, you got to figure it out. Isabel in the comments with a great tip: cooking sheets in the oven. Check your oven. Check your dishwasher. Check your dishwasher before your packers come, because you need to make sure your stuff is clean and dry before it gets packed. Washers and dryers. We've had people that I know have forgotten they had loads in them, and then they're trying to get packed and like, here's a dryer with a load of damp clothes, and like, what do you do then? So check everywhere. We got Jason here. Always do a walkthrough. Absolutely. Always make sure you ensure everything is packed and everything is loaded. Now, you'll find that there may be things not packed sitting on shelves, sitting in cabinets, and those should be things that are on the do not pack list. So we're talking your liquids. They open your pantry, they pack what they can of your pantry. Don't be surprised to find your vegetable oil and olive oil and other stuff that's opened or not opened sitting there. Your lotions, your shampoos, your body sprays, your perfumes, your medications, batteries, light bulbs, anything that's in an aerosol can, like your cooking spray or your hairspray, or your WD-40 in the garage, like that is not going to be packed. So those items you're going to find sitting on shelves, sitting in cabinets. That's totally okay, because that's stuff they can't pack anyway. Ask for a box, put it in a box, stick it in your car to take it with you, or put it in a box and go take it to your neighbor as a farewell gift. We've been the recipient of many boxes of random cleaning supplies. We've also given away many boxes of random cleaning and cooking things. It's the nature of what life is when we move so frequently. Some time passes, you arrive at your new duty station, and we are on to your delivery day. So before your crews arrive, when you get into your home, walk through your home and try to figure out where you want things to go. Determine what wall you want your bed on. Figure out what wall your dressers need to go on. Figure out where in the living room you want your couch to go. Your movers will do a one-time placement of furniture in the rooms where it needs to go to. If you don't know and people just start unloading boxes into your bedroom, and then like at the end of the day you decide, hey, I want my bed on this wall where you put all the boxes. If you didn't tell them beforehand, they may or may not move all the boxes. That could be on you. So decide where you want the furniture beforehand. When your crews arrive, walk them through your home. Give them the tour, let them know what's going where, give them an idea of what is happening. We always talk about how the bunk bed goes in this room, The white wooden bed goes in my daughter's room. We use room labels. Do I got them down here? Oh, I do. So we use room labels, which are a really great thing during your pack and delivery days. Do I have the matching one? Sorry, y'all. I should have planned better. So there it is, use room labels. And the great thing about room labels is it helps identify where things are going. So I use the box ops system. So box ops are these labels, and you'll see that they're designed where you can wrap it around a corner of a box. So you see it on two sides of the box and not just one. These stick a lot better on the boxes than the labels you get off of Amazon. Trust me, I know, because I've used basically every type of moving label that's out there on the market. The great thing about these is that they have a place where you can write the location. So if you're in a multi-story home, you can write, like it's in the basement or it's upstairs or the third floor or whatever, especially if you know your home before you're moving in, you've already got that lined up. And it has a spot where you can write the box number, because we know sometimes those inventory tags fall off the box. So this gives you the ability that as you put them on, you can write, box 71, box 142, whatever. So in the event, you still know what inventory number went to that box. So these are in all the boxes, and then they come with color-coded matching door hangers too. So these are on all of our doors. So for our delivery crews, they are literally matching the color on the box to the color on the door. And so that just makes delivery day a little bit easier. It gives them the ability to just color code matching things. I also put a sign on the door that says what furniture goes into that room. So on my daughter's door, it says like the white full-size bed, the white chest of drawers, the white nightstand. There's a theme in her room. She's a very, very princess type of person. My middle son's room, he gets the bunk bed, he gets the toy box, he gets the tall dresser. My other son's room is the single full-size bed with the black desk and other stuff. So that way, as they are carrying furniture into the room, as they know it goes there, they have a list right there on the door to know what room it goes in. And it gives me the ability to not spend so much time directing traffic, and I can make sure our inventory numbers are checked off. I can look at our furniture and see if there's any damage that I need to note. And just to be there to help answer other questions and not have to say upstairs, downstairs, third room on the left, room at the top of the stairs, whatever it is. So I love using the labels. It makes the delivery day so easy. Once they have everything unloaded, take a moment, walk through the house. Usually they'll start assembling stuff once most of the boxes are in the home. So go room by room and see what needs to be assembled and pull those parts out. Usually it's bed, all your beds. Sometimes it's tables, kitchen tables, depending on how they're designed and made. It could be desks, it could be bookshelves, different things like that they disassemble, they should reassemble. Great comment here from Jason in the comments. Let me see if I can. I think it's gonna be, nope, we'll get it right here. The crew should be putting home protection down prior to doing delivery, carpet masks, cardboard floor runners to protect your floors, and designate an area for items that are not tagged correctly. Absolutely. And same thing with your pack and loading days too, is that they should come in with floor runners. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to call it a gym mat or a yoga mat, but it's like a fabric with like rubber on one side, blue runners that they can sometimes put down the hallways. Other times it's like the plastic sticky wrap. Think back to like our grandmas of the 80s that put like plastic covering on their carpets, especially the stairs. That type of stuff they can put down as well. A lot of times, especially loading day. Thank you, Isabel. It resembles the neoprene material. That's the floor runners I was talking about, or it's like the clear plastic sticky type of stuff. A lot of times on loading day and delivery day, they should take some moving blankets to wrap your front door, wrap the door frame. So that way, as they are carrying stuff in or out, we know accidents happen. Sometimes you have to bump as you're trying to get a big piece of furniture in and out a door. Those moving blankets can help protect your door frame so they don't get all scratched and dented. So thank you for that reminder, Jason, on that. But at the end of delivery day, you're going to have more paperwork, because why not? So you're going to have your paperwork where you have to sign off as damage done to the home. So you have 7 days currently to identify any damage done to your home from the day that your stuff is either picked up or delivered. So after they load everything onto the truck, walk through your home, make sure there isn't any damage done to the home. If there is, you need to note it that day and let your move coordinator know. On delivery day, you have 7 days. Sometimes we get scratches on walls, and then we get like a giant wall of boxes stacked in front of it because there's nowhere else to put boxes. So you've got some time to identify damage done to your home. You note it the day of delivery, or you have 7 days to notify your move coordinator as well. You're going to want to open up on delivery day your high value items. Open them up, inspect them, make sure they all arrived, make sure if any of them are damaged, you note it the day of delivery. What else? Oh, missing items. If you have any missing items, those inventory numbers didn't get checked off, you can always take the time to, like, okay, box 17 should be in the living room. Go look through the living room boxes. Maybe you just didn't hear that number get called off. Maybe it forgot to get called off, but maybe it's sitting there. So take a moment. You can identify by what it's labeled as, what room it should be in. So go double check. Maybe it just got forgotten. But anything that's missing the day of delivery, you can go ahead and note it there. If you've got damage to things, like maybe your table comes in and like a leg is cracked off, or something, you can note damage to furniture the day of delivery as well. Keep in mind, you still have 180 days from the date of delivery to file claims, except on your high value items. Those need to be noted day of delivery. So if you choose not to unpack your stuff and then you find out something is missing or it's broken, you can't claim it. You're going to be out of luck on that because that has to be noted the day of delivery. Claims, there's a couple different types of claims. There's the regular household goods claim that we all know about. You have 180 days to file that one. That one, I mean, generally anything that you have will go under that. There is the essential items claim, which is generally like your mattress, your if you have a fridge, if you have needed medical equipment, your washer, your dryer can be claimed under an essential items claim, and that one's usually handled within a week. Most times we see that used for mattresses. Mattresses show up wet and moldy. They don't show up at all. It's essential items. That way you can be able to sleep in your home. Now, if your bed frame is broken, that doesn't get counted as an essential item because you can put your mattress on the floor and still sleep on your floor. Is it ideal? No, but you can make it work. There is the quick claim, which is if your claim is under $1,500, they can settle it within 30 days. So you could request like maybe your bed frame get filed under the quick claim type of thing. And then we also have the inconvenience claim if your RDD is missed. There are some caveats into what qualifies for an inconvenience claim. So if it's your unaccompanied baggage, if it's delayed because of AMC, because of the airfield being backed up, because it does go space available, probably not going to have it be approved. If it's something within what the TSP could handle, maybe they let it sit at their warehouse for 2 weeks before taking it to the airfield, and it was delayed because of that, you might be eligible for an inconvenience claim. Meeting your RDD, it kind of depends. If your shipment arrived to your location and you weren't able to accept shipment because you were not there or you didn't have a house yet, getting it to your location meets the RDD. So now you have to request stuff out of storage. There's some timelines on that. We're going to drop the link in the comments to Military One Source, to the, the moving page. They've got the fact sheets in there that Transcom has on other claims that way go through and see what qualifies, doesn't qualify, and also read the other information about the other claims as well. So you've got all of that information. Where are we at? So the end of your move, you got your customer service satisfaction survey. So if you haven't moved in the last year, you probably remember it as being on DPS and having to go back on DPS, having to go to the link, fill it out. It is now changed to where it comes to you as a texted link, and you get it several times. So you'll get one link after you have your government counseling. You'll get a second link after your pack and load days, and then you'll get a third link after your delivery day. This is the method that Transcom uses to be able to identify how your experience went and what issues are happening out there. So if you had a great move, if you had a horrible move, even if you just had like an okay move, nothing spectacular, but whatever, it happened and you're okay, fill out the survey. It goes a long way to helping the TSPs improve their operations. It goes a long way to helping Transcom identify what needs to change, what needs to update. It goes a long way to helping a lot of folks. So take the time to fill out that survey. A couple other things to touch on real quick. If you're going OCONUS, keep in mind you are going to likely need to look at trying to ship your cars at some point. The military will ship one car to or from an OCONUS location. They will not ship a car going CONUS to CONUS. So if you're going California to Virginia, unfortunately, if you want to ship a car, that's going to be on a pocket to you. If you're going California to Alaska, Alaska and Hawaii are considered OCONUS locations, so they will ship one car there. If you're going, well, everyone has to go through the EFMP screening. They are really starting to crack down on that. But if you're going OCONUS, it is a requirement, and you must go through an EFMP screening. If you are on EFMP or enrolled in EFMP already, and you're going CONUS to CONUS location, it has to be updated within a certain period of time frame, or your orders are going to be delayed, or you're going to end up with surprise orders somewhere else. So if you've got anything with EFMP, you need to go double check all of that. Take the time to understand what your entitlements are and what your budget is. I'm dropping the link to our Google Drive in the comments. There's some great information there explaining entitlements and a budget planning worksheet to help you figure out what your reimbursements and entitlements are. Not everything is reimbursed or covered under something. You do have your LE and TLA for your lodging. You have your per diem to cover in transit. You have your mileage you can claim, your dislocation allowance to cover other non-reimbursable expenses. Keep in mind, pet expenses are currently not reimbursable. Yes, the NDAA passed with language in there that says the secretary may reimburse up to $550 for CONUS pet relocation expenses and up to $4,000 OCONUS pet relocation expenses. The services are still working through all of that, so it is not in effect yet. We are hoping it is in effect by peak season, but we are still waiting on the answer for that. A pet is defined as a dog or cat. Sorry, it's not going to cover your horses and your chickens and whatever else you may have. It's defined as a pet or a dog. And so hopefully we have more information about that coming down later, but currently it is not in effect. So save your receipts for all your pet expenses. They can be filed on your taxes when you go to file next year to kind of help with some of that, but just take the time, go through, create your budget, get an estimate on all of that as well. So that way you have a little idea how your finances are going to be during your PCS. The last big thing to touch on today is about PPM. So we went through the whole process on if you're having the military move you, right? If you're going through setting up on DPS and you want the military to handle all of the logistics of everything, you can do a PPM, personally procured move. That personally procured move, you can do any number of ways that you want to do it. You can go rent a truck and pack, load, and drive the truck yourself. You can use a container company where you pack and load it and they haul it and store it for you. You can hire a full service moving company. We actually have a episode coming up in about 2 weeks, we're going to have some industry folks on here with us. We're going to go more in detail about PPMs and what you need to know and how to protect yourself in doing a PPM and all your different options with that. So we're going to cover more of that later. But the one thing I want to touch on is about the cost expense and the tax of doing a PPM. So you're currently paid at 100% of the government's constructive cost. Um, it's it's an incentive payment. It's listed as an incentive payment, which is categorized as income. So we are taxed on it, and it's 22% taxed. However, your operating expenses can lower that taxable amount of your incentive payment. So, for example, say your incentive payment is $1,000 and you had $500 in operating expenses, and you turn in those receipts to show that you spent $500 on your move between boxes and renting a truck or whatever it was, then only $500 is going to be taxed. Say the same thing, you have $1,000 incentive payment, you don't turn in receipts, the entire $1,000 is going to be taxed at 22%. So I'm dropping the link in here for DFAS where it talks about operating expenses for your PPM. So you can go in there and you can take a look at what is counted as an operating expense and what is not counted as an operating expense. So important things to keep in mind there if you're doing a PPM. Mark it on your calendar, though, that in 2 weeks, the 21st, we're going to do our PPM segment. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to go into detail everything you need to know about PPM, all the good information from our folks in the industry to tell us what it is we need to know about finding reputable companies, things to look out for, insurance valuation, all that good stuff. So put that on your calendar. Next week, I'm really excited about. Put that one on your calendar too and come back for it, because next week we're going to kind of do this a little bit in reverse. I've got a industry member that is coming to join us next week, and it's going to be the opportunity where the industry kind of asks our military community about PCSing. Why do we all choose to move in the middle of the summer? What do we want the industry to know about when it comes to PCSing that they maybe don't know or don't understand? We want to help clear some myths or provide some insights as to why it is we do things the way that we do. So I asked my military community watching to please come back, chime in, answer these questions as well. It's going to be a really great episode. I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to be really cool as well. Later on, coming up at the end of the month, we've got an episode with the Military Spouse Advocacy Network, MSAN, with Vernice. And we're going to be talking about something really cool happening there with PCSing. And then coming up later in April, we're going to do an episode about pre-packing. We're going to have an update from the industry as to what to expect for this peak season. And we're going to be talking with some other folks about their experiences and other companies that can help you PCS as well. So it's going to be really cool. Lots of good information coming out right before peak season to help you all be educated and prepared and ready for all of those PCSs. It's going to be a very fun and exciting time. So be sure to tune in and join us. Put it on your calendar. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m., we're going to be happening. So join us then. If you've got questions, issues, comments in the middle of your PCS, you don't know what to do, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always more than happy to help give you the answer or direct you to the office or the regulation that has the answer that you need. And thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us. So join us again next week. And until then, remember to take care of each other.